Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Hola.
Hola. How are you? How are you, Alan?
I'm good. I couldn't wait.
Excellent,
Couldn't wait.
excellent. So
I'm always excited
you have to be excited because you're learning things that are going to change the way you trade and invest.
yes.
As I said before, as we record this, I'm telling you, you have been witness the things that we can accomplish. So this is not
Yes.
something I'm coming up with marketing, copyright, and words are beautiful. But you know what? Words don't pay the mortgage. Words won't send your kids to college. They won't. Results
Yeah.
are the ones that talk. Results are the ones that show you that over and over again, once we establish a pattern, once we guide ourselves following the smart money, the insiders, and on top of that, you follow these patterns that I develop, how I pick these calls, how I pick these, hopefully the puts, they work very well for us. Not hopefully, but things go very well for the puts. You, over and over again, you can exceed your expectations. We're no longer contained in the universe of the mythological, if you make 10% guarantee per year, you will be rich. It's not true. It's not true. It's simply not true. Mathematically speaking, if you make 10%, you will still be poor 50 years later. That's what it is. We've been lied. We've been lied. We've been living in a world of lies. We need results, and thankfully, not only the insider report but also the war room, they have come up with ways where retail traders can become real pros and make money like the pros. Okay, so away most of the time, this is our intro for today. As we discussed, we have Expedia, ticker symbol EXPE. The reason why we're here discussing these securities that on trading session number 2 of the War Room Intense Coaching Session, ICS, we went over part 1, part 2 of how we filter, how we use Open Insider. And we, after analyzing 10% owners, directors, vice president, that criteria, we identified Expedia as a very powerful position that we want to take a look and see what is happening. Let me just pull that information. We did it for, I think, about a week. Just have it last week, XP, and we have, for the records, let me just make sure we're recording. Yes, we're recording, and let's go back to that screen. We're going to go back to Open Insider for a moment. Can you see the Open Insider search criteria?
Yes.
Perfect. Now we have ticker symbol EXPE, Expedia Group Incorporated. We have director Sam H. Altman. He purchased at 98, 20,000 shares. That's a new purchase for a total value of $1.9 million. Let's call it $2 million even. Okay?
Yes.
This trade took place, the trade date was on the 25th, and the settlement 2 days later was on the 27th. Today's Saturday, obviously, market are closed, so we can expect some action or not by next week. But like I said, if we look at the S&P 500, very important concept, price rotation. We are an overextension of the price. The S&P 500 is already trading at 3,140. The high by Friday was the 3,150, so 10 points from the high. Now, we're going to look and we're going to start working on the charts. What do I do in the charts? And then on this trading session, number 3, intense coaching session, we're going to look into, if they're available, how I pick the calls options. Okay, that's the most important.
Okay.
So that's our goal. Our goal is understanding charting, how we actually decide to take risk after we selected a security, and how we go into finding those call options that will take us to 100%, 200%, and so far 550%. Okay. Our goal at some point is to find that big winner that will take us home with a 1,200%. It won't happen in a day or 3. It takes actually a couple months. But once you have that champion, your life changed. Okay, so let's start working. So once we identify that, one of the tools I want to add during this intense coaching session is the use of the free tool ThinBiz. On the free tool ThinBiz, the reason why we're going to use thinbiz.com, I'm going to send this to you directly on the Telegram, so you have it, is because it's going to add a little bit something of spicy. It's going to help us to understand where is the market position and what is the view of the overall market with Expedia. This time, I'm just going to go down, and we can see as November, look at this. This is the position of Oppenheimer, JMP Securities, Wells Fargo, Piper Jaffray, Davidson, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch. We have two positions that went from buy to neutral. All of them on November, okay? Last week, well, almost 2 weeks ago, beginning of the month. We have all of them somehow, all of them are downgrade their view. However, you're looking at overweight, for example, Piper Jaffray is went from 160 target to 124, is lowering. Right now, remember, the security is trading at 101, and it was somewhere around 95, 98. It's small bounce, but you can see here, you see that little red candle now?
Yes.
That's on the daily. That can tell us that, what I sort of discussed briefly with you yesterday. This is just a dead cat bounce. I can see it on the chart and a continuation to retest this support in this area. I'm just going to bring the pencil to retest the support this area and continuation to create a new low. And this is why we have to follow this position, because we will have an opportunity based on this gap to, when the market reverses, to cover the gap. So we'll have an opportunity to make at least between 30 to, who knows, even $50 on this trade. That will translate probably could be up to, I will say, 60% on the security. How do we get there? That's what we want to figure at this and during this presentation. The full analysis that we do before we put out an equity, I put out an equity recommendation on the war room, also in the insider report. Now, we have the view, okay? We have the view based on all the positions from different investment banks, research houses. For example, you take a look at Oppenheimer. It's also a family of funds, the Oppenheimer family of mutual funds, and it goes from outperform to perform from 160 target to 110, okay? So that means that if it's trading at 101, we still have potential to let it go down a little bit more before we risk money. But we want to see the step by step. Now, once I have this information, now I want to go and take a look at the charts, see where are we. I'm going to follow this company. I'm going to start working. I think you noticed that when I share a chart with everyone, there are a couple indicators from the Hawkeye tools, which I think also you have seen, you have been playing with them, correct?
Yes.
Okay, the reason I use them is just to identify volume, and this is the technicality. If you look at athletes like Usain Bolt, let me see if I can close this. Usain Bolt, which is a short-term fast runner. These guys, they do everything necessary to be better if it is only 3%. Let me see if I can close this for a moment so I don't have the notifications. Let me close this.
I think you have to go to the settings and turn off the notification.
Yeah, one sec. Thank you for that. One moment. For the group, I think there's one for the group, right? Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. So athletes will do everything they can to be only 3% better. Why? Because that 3% better is the difference between who wins gold and who ends second. And remember, there's no prize, there's no big prize for second. Only guarantee if you are number one, you're gonna get that spot, that sponsor, that Nike sponsor. The same way as an athlete, we're going to look for all the tools necessary for us to be, even it's only 3%, it will make the difference between making 10,000 in a day, or be the one guy saying like, oh, I didn't make money in the markets. I lose a share or two. Make sense?
Yes.
So I use all those tools to give me that edge. To the right, you have the volume profile, VOP. Again, this is a tool that comes with a trading view package. The pro, the premium is, I think the pro, premium is only like $29.95, $30 per month. I'm willing to pay that because all the information I have to share with individuals like you that you're looking for success. So this is all I'm willing to do to take you guys to the end goal. Make money, not a 10%, not a 20%, not a 30%, triple digit returns. So this is all the package. Have volume profile from the very beginning, Open Insider, FinViz, different tools, what other investment banks are saying, the insiders. I go to volume profile and I use the tools, the volume tools from Hawkeye, all these combined, just to give me that little edge that will make the difference in our lives. Now, volume profile indicates, first time, I want to know the volume because volume is life and it matters the most. Volume is the number one leading indicator after the insiders. Because once you know what they're doing, you want to know now the volume. Because remember, insiders can also be a little bit too early into those positions, right? So we know that this guy bought at 98. So he bought somewhere here, 98. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, he bought here. He bought this candle. That's what he bought. Okay. Mm-hmm. Why? Because if you study, now let's just go into study price range. Look at that. Oh my God, that's a 32% drop. Wow. Now, if you analyze just basically very basic analysis on look at this. When was the last time that Expedia went down 32% on a monthly basis? Never. Look at this. We're looking in 2009, right? Look at this 10-year time frame. Never. For Expedia to go 32% down, it took them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 7 months from this point to this point. I keep looking. Let me look more. This is what I call chart analysis, basic chart analysis. Here again.
What is that? What indicator is that you're using?
This line I'm using?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just using the price range from the tools, the charting tools. This is just charting tools that I'm using. Price range from TradingView. What I do is that I project from the high to the low. And then I count the months to give me an idea how long it took the security, how many months it took for it to go down. And for example, right now, this candle, this big red candle, it's right now so far from high to low, it's minus 32% from the high to the low in one single candle, monthly candle. So I want to see I want to go back to the past and sort of review when that actually happened, if it happened, and how long it took the security to get there. So in this case, you see that this is a very abnormal phenomenon. This is not common for Expedia to lose that much money and to go that down. So if I look at previous,
it's after the earnings report.
Correct. Yeah. And then we have the insiders buying this weakness. Why?
Yeah.
It means that they know that something was off today, but may not be the same in the future. That's what it's telling us this, okay? Yeah. So now I take this same price range tool from TradingView, free tools, free charting, and I take that from this peak, and I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 months it took last time to get to this. Now, I go back in time all the way to September 2015, same pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months to lose 36%. Now, we know the negative. Now, this 36% happened in 8, 9 months. Now it's happening in 1 month. So we may sort of expect a little bit more downside for this security. We know that the insider actually entered at 98. So what we want to know is after the big drop, where it goes. Also, that's important. So I'm going to remove the negative. We have that. You can always come back to your recording and review these levels.
Okay.
Have it here, removing this. Now let's use price range. And after the low, it went up 70%. Look at that, 70% on the first scenario. On the second scenario, it went up 43%. That's not bad. But how long it took the security to get there? So after the low, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 months to return 70%. Almost a year and a little bit more. Not a bad thing for a 70% return. After losing 32. That means if it went down 32% and then it went up 70%, you're getting back to back, if we were just to take those cold numbers, almost 2 to 1 on your money. Okay? Now, on this case, it took 30%, but in the second case, it only returned 43%. So what shall we expect this time? Well, I can tell you right away that this actually must drop a little bit more. How do I know that? Well, pretty much because number one, as I said before, the S&P 500 is at the top. That means that we can be in the presence in the next 8 days, 10 days, in the presence of a sell-off, okay? And that sell-off will affect some companies. Remember, Expedia is not Microsoft, it's not Walmart, it's not your defensive stock, because Expedia is a company linked to traveling. Traveling, as it is a luxury. It's not toothpaste. It's not soap for you to take a shower. Make sense?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, when the sell-off comes, who do you think is going to be the first one to start cutting? I will start cutting Expedia. Especially.
The leisure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The leisure commodities.
Exactly. And I will start cutting Expedia because not only is not number one thing in my life, it's because it's not performing. So not only you're not doing well, I don't need you. It's just like I just have to get rid of you for now. Now, this is a perfect opportunity for us to have it on the watch list and look for the perfect entry. How do we figure that out? I'm going to remove this, take these values, knowing what can probably be the upside potential. Now, we're going to use volume profile. And I'm going to take a look at the volume profile because the volume will never lie to you. To the right, you see the histogram, right? See these levels?
Yes.
Comes down. And then you see there's a little peak here. That little peak, by no coincidence, is at $99. Remember, the insider bought at $98. Now you see these, you see how it goes all the way in, like there's nothing here?
Yeah.
And where it ends? Here at $84. Can you see it? You see this peak here comes all the way. You see how I can put it in? There you go. Oh, beautiful. There you go. Look at that. You see how the volume is showing you? And remember, I'm looking at the monthly chart. I'm not looking at 4 hour. I have no interest in what is happening in the short term. I want to make the big bucks. And to do that, you need to look at the big picture, like an eagle.
Yeah.
If the eagle could just go on the mountain, spread its wings, and looks at everything, and then he sees you, and that's it. You're out. You're toasted.
That's it.
He's going for you. Okay? So like eagles, we're looking at the big picture, and we know that price has been plummeting all over these volume levels. So this is a serious sell-off. Now, where is going to land? We don't want to catch the knife. We want just to make sure it's landing. Now, the day-to-day retail trader, what do you think he's going to do? Well, the day-to-day retail trader, first off, he doesn't know that there's a director buying almost $2 million worth of stock at 98. And second of all, he doesn't know about volume profile. He's expecting the price to tell him where it's bouncing. We don't have that luxury. We don't know here to let the price tell us. No, we don't have that. We already know we're the insiders. And number two, we know by volume profile Where is the volume set by professionals? And that's here at $85, which means if I take the price range that from 101, you can still expect another 15% dropped. And we wait. Not only we know that the value of the insiders are here, but also we know that the value of the volume of previous professional transactions, it's set at 86. And that's when we buy. We will have an advantage over the insiders because they're here. And remember, I want to take this time to remember you the most important rule of the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission of the United States of America. Once the insiders buy, they have 6 months lock-in period. So we know that that money is locked in there for 6 months. That means January, February, March, April, May, and June. So as soon as we know that this is dropping 10, 15%, hopefully we get it 15% cheaper. We know we have 6 months to see results on the equity. And that's when we want to attack. Okay? And that's when I put up a recommendation. So right away, I can tell you, Expedia, I'm going to put an alert, crossing down 90. And I have an alert. So this is how I build different alerts. For example, I'm looking at another company. I will talk to you about that next week. I'm looking already at 2 calls option. There is one call that I think is hot, and it's going to be for next week. And for the first time in the last couple of weeks, we're going to trade by the end of the week. And tomorrow, finally, I'm going to put out the FET recommendation, suggestion, in equity only. We don't have a call. But you see, this is how I keep tracking slowly. I don't rush myself into this. I'm looking always to the best timing. Timing matters. It's very important. Because if you were to buy right now, if you go in and you buy Expedia on Monday, you can be a victim of a 15% drawdown. You can say all you want. You can say, oh, well, I can handle it. But sure thing, you will be kicking yourself and say, I should have waited. Like Jose told me. I should have waited based on my analysis of where the insiders are in, where is the S&P 500, the stock index, the equity index, and where it can go based on volume. That's the most important. This is the charting that I do. I don't draw lines. I'm not interested at this time. I'm not sharing with you price rotation. We're going to talk about that next week. I don't draw support resistant lines like the others. I'm right now looking at value based on volume. The volume indicates, once again, I want to make sure we're there. The volume really indicates where is the action taking place. There's no other way around this. And the volume action, as the price broke down these volume levels, it takes me that now this 105, and don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Expedia bounced all the way to 105. It shouldn't be a surprise to you. But that level is a massive volume resistance. You can see it right here in front of you. See there? Yeah. See there? And then boom, all the way down, easily. Okay? And this is where we're looking to have action at 85. This is where we want to have an action. Because remember as well, a director of Expedia buying $2 million shares at 98, it's not an accident. He knows about this pattern behavior of the stock. It drops 32%. There's a chance that you can make in the next couple months, year, 40 to 70%. It's 40, 70% worth the money? Yes, with the right entry. And the right entry is somewhere here. We got it?
Got it.
At this point, from the charting, from the analysis that we did conducted so far, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay, perfect. Now, let's find the cherry on this, and let's see if there's something to squeeze. Now we go to old NASDAQ. So how this happened? A lot of people ask me like how you started looking into these options. So I talked to the client. A client sent a message to the customer service department of the publisher. It's in Czech Republic in Europe, and was saying like, oh, I want to thank Jose. How do I reach out to thank Jose for these trades? Blah blah blah. I made. Remember when I posted like the trades from Prema from Czech Republic? I think I made a post on Thanksgiving Day. So the client was reaching out. I made this much. I made 270% of McDonald's, 80 for 85 on Best Buy, 300% on the other one. I was like, please, yo, don't thank me for that. I did nothing. You did it. I mean, I just did an analysis. You bought it. You made money. So, no, it's true. People, it's like, that's what I tell everyone. I'm just a humble traveler. That's all it is. I talked to Holly, which is, I mean, I think probably she's the one that makes the most. She made $75,000 in one day. She has a lot of money to work with. But that tells you what you can do. Or for example, you have Daryl. There is a case, I haven't talked about it, but I can share with you that there is a case that he told me, and he openly said, like, look, Jose, I lost $25,000 in the last 10 years trading stocks. And he was always like, can we even win in this game? Now, that was like 2 months ago. Now, Daryl is like, I was $1,700 down. Now I'm $3,500 up. And he's like, thank to you. It's like, no, man, thank that you stick around. He was a guy that he was one of the few guys with Michelle that signed up for the service. And like anything in life, at that time, the Insider Report was not doing good. I mean, we were just on the patch. And because of the structure of the Insider Report, you get stopped out a couple times. And she was like, oh, this is awful. It's like, look, Michelle, it's a cycle. You have to stick around. She stick around. Daryl disappeared like for 3 months. And was like, hey, what's up? You were not here? Like, no, I wasn't sure. I wasn't making that much money. I switched jobs. Like, listen, you have to be constant. I've been 8 years with this publisher. They laid me, so you know, Alan, they laid me off at some point. And then they brought me back. And when I got laid off, the American way, no severance package. I was sent home with nothing. Not even thank you. Not even thank you. I came back. Do you think we'll have war room making this type of returns if I were to give up? No. I never gave up. I kept going. And now Daryl as well, he never gave up. And he continued. Michelle's making like 5,000 in a week.
Yeah.
Tell me which job in America pays 5,000 a week?
None.
It's simple. So that's what it is. So I shared this as part of your intense coaching session because this is what it is. This is intense. You want to make 300% in 3 days? Get ready. It's going to be brutal. No mercy. That's the price. And this is also, and this I'm going to talk about that starting Monday. Are you paying the price to be in this room? Are you paying the price to make 300 in less than 3 days? Are you paying the price to make 270% in 2 days? Or in 2 weeks? Are you sure you're paying the price? Because everything is beautiful and flowers now that you're up 300, 550, 8%. Everyone is like, yes. But what's going to happen when you get jabbed in the face? Like, pow! Stop loss. Are you going to continue or are you just going to cry? And now you're going to curse Jose. Jose, you're a bad boy. You made me lose 10%. No good. You see? So this is very important. You have to be constant. You have to be prepared. You need to know that this is a business, like a restaurant. Not all the time you're full. Not all the time you're full.
Get rid of your emotions.
Exactly. This is just, we heat, we're in, we're out. You have to be professional. Okay? Now, this is the last part of today's coaching session. Finding the call and finding the right call. Right now, we either find it or we don't find it. Either find it or don't find it. So what do we do? Now, the most important is we need to find positions that have liquidity. Okay? Now, because of where Expedia is, and I know that it can drop more, I have to find exactly where it can go. Now, we have November, this is too close. December, I'm going to keep looking at that, see where we can find. Okay.
That's kind of risky as well, right? Because it's like
December.
less than.
Yeah, it's too close. So I will start November, December, January, April, and there you go. And December, January, April, June 20. Between April and June, okay? Let's take a look at June.
Yeah.
So that's the first part. You need to find something between 3 to 4 months apart. You see here, there is a little bit of action, but not enough. Okay. Let me look at April.
Like what number of the open interest are you looking for?
I look everything
at a minimum.
A minimum, I will prefer to have 1,000 minimum of open interest, but also remember the option has to be below 250. That's the combination I'm looking. I'm looking for open interest, and I'm also looking for the option to be at 250. Now, for example, you see 95. I will be looking for this 95.
So
range.
So the open interest, like I see that 603. Is that the
603? The action that is open.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not by 1,000, like 600, 3,000. No, it's not. It's actually this is the actual numbers, the actual count.
Yes, that's the actual count. That's absolutely right.
Okay.
That's the actual.
But we're
count.
looking for at least 1,000, right? We're looking for at least 1,000. Okay.
Yes, but remember, because we're still in the we're actually going into December. The number can be figured. So right now, I can tell you right away, looking at this, at this point in time, we don't have yet an option to buy. Yeah. Because, for example, right now this is 101. But if I know that it can drop to 85, what I'm playing with is that it goes back to 95 and 100. You see? So right now, those options, they're not in the money. They're not in the money. So you see right now, there's nothing here. Absolutely nothing that we can buy. You see? There's no liquidity. The action is here. So what I will say is that I will focus and we will put it on the watch list. This is the one that I want. The 95 or the 100. The reason is because right now this is trading at 11. But I bet you we will see this in 2 weeks. It will start going down to 5. It will start adjusting. So this is the one that we need to have, and I'm gonna do this, put it on the 2nd, December, January, February, March, April. Yes, we're gonna work with April.
Because you were looking at the open interest, right? These 603.
Yes, and right now, okay, here we go. I'm gonna send it to the Telegram, so you put it on the watch list, and together we're gonna track this one, okay?
Okay.
Right now, you see this at $11. I bet you by January, this thing will be somewhere around $6. The reason is because right now, what is happening is that there's not a lot of bets because the price is at 101. So I'm looking at the 95. So that means that this call is in the money. No one is going to add anything to something that is in the money, correct? You want it to be out of the money, so you have an opportunity to actually climb with the price of the security. Okay? Now, this is open interest 603. I look at the spread because so far there's not enough liquidity. There's only $1 between. Okay? Now, I want you to track this because once Expedia drops below 95, continues to 90, this will go down. The spread will shrink from $1 probably to 40 cents. And this open interest, the bettors, gamblers, everyone is going to start climbing up.
Okay.
So this
so the 603 is going to be climbing as well.
Correct. Exactly.
It's probably and it's going to go past 1,000.
Correct. For example, at this time, I also want to remember you when I started looking for opportunities. When I started looking about a drop and who can be a victim of a drop, talking about the Netflix options that we bought, as I said, those options were trading at $2.29. I just waited because I knew what will happen. And it happened. It went up. The premium, the last sale went off by $1.29. That means that no one is thinking right now that it can drop. But at the same time, the open interest increased massively.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the idea. And for example, I'm going to give you a preview because this is what we're going to study on Monday on our War Room Intense Coaching Session, ICS number 4. What we're going to study? Let me show you what we're going to study before we end the call. Today's training. We're going to study something that is about to and has the potential to be another TGT. If you like TGT, you're going to love this one. Do you see in your screen Costco Wholesale Corporation?
Yes.
Okay, this one I started looking at pretty much like $2, and you can see it here. The last month it went from $2 all the way to 87 cents. Where's Costco at $2.99? Okay. Look at the open interest, 2,300.
Wow. Yes.
Look at the price rotation. Contract high, contract low. 33 by $7.
What,
you see?
What does that mean?
That means divide 7 by 50 cents. And that tells you,
cents. Where's the 50 cents coming from?
I just rounded the figure. Rather than use 7.30 or 33, use $7.50. Okay. And that will give you a figure. That figure is your risk reward. For every dollar you risk here, that's how much money you can make out of it.
That's a delta.
Yep. That's how I. And that's how it works. Okay.
Okay.
And that's what I call price rotation. It's not an exact science of what I want, but it gives me a perspective of where you can go. What is the figure you have? $7 by 50, $7 by 50 cents.
$7 by 50 cents. So 7 divided by 50 cents.
Yes.
So 7 divided by 0.5. That's 14.
That's 14 to 1. That means that you can make in this option 1,400%.
No way.
Yeah, of course. It's simple. It's that simple. That's all I do. What I just taught you. Yeah, what I just told you and taught you. That's how I do my calculations. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. How about the MCD, right? Initially, you said that the goal for that trade was 1,000 at least.
Yeah, but with the MCD is like there are a couple of things I have to do. Remember, a couple of things is because I have to manage expectations. If you're 100%, 200%, we have to get out. Okay. Unless you have double portions. This is something that comes in the next week of training. We need to structure how you're going to trade because you need to be wise about your allocation. That's very important. This is something to discuss.
Okay.
You cannot expect to make 1,000% of one single trade. It doesn't work. You build up the position. And once you build up the position, what it helps you is one, to reduce stress and emotions, and two, to reduce risk. If you don't have that in place, it's very unlikely that you will hold one position up to 1,000%. You will be very anxious. So I have to train you how to do that. So I wanted to give you this sneak peek. This is something that we'll discuss next week because guess who is reporting earnings on December the 12th?
Costco.
That's right. That's right.
So it's another target. It's another TGT.
It's another TGT, and I found the perfect victim. I'm talking about the call option for us to attack. Is it going to be another TGT as for returning 300%?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I got to tell you something. There's a strong support at $295, and also Costco recently is trading where?
$299.
In China. No, it's trading in China. Trade in China. Okay, so I want to let you go with that. We did a great work today. I see you Monday. We have less than a minute for this recording. Remember, you will receive the recording in the next hours. I want to thank you for participating and continue taking notes and improving yourself, okay? This is one more War Room session. Thank you, Alan. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll talk to you Monday.
Thank you, Jose.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.